At this point, the basket's coming along. I'll be honest with you guys, I've done a way better job than I even thought I would be able to. We got a new floor in, things are looking good. So now it's time to take a break from the boat itself and find out if this engine actually starts.
All right, here we go.
I know what you guys are thinking. You moved the boat again? Yep, we're in a different garage now. I'll be honest with you guys, I kind of had to get a roof over this thing because it's been neglected enough. That's about it, but welcome back, it's good to see your face. So in the last video, a lot of you guys actually no, pretty much all of you guys asked me why I nailed the floor in and why I didn't countersink the drain. So let's clear that up for you real quick. So the reason that I went with nails to begin with was because there was already nails in there when I pulled the original floor off. The reason that I didn't go with screws is because I didn't want there to be any potential for stringer splitting or things getting messed up. Now I know that sounds ridiculous because the stringers are fiberglass and stuff like that, but that was just my thought process. I didn't want to do more harm than done, so I met in the middle. I didn't explain this in the first video, but I ended up going with galvanized spiral shank nails. So it's a nail that is designed to not exactly pull out really easily, I guess, and it's also designed to be vibration proof. So given the fact that this is a boat, I did know that vibration was kind of a thing, so I kind of met in the middle and I went with those nails. So is what it is, it's done now, but that's just my reasoning for you guys. So the reason that I didn't countersink the drain was because if you've ever owned a boat, honestly guys, drains never work anyways. Out of every boat that I've owned, which this is my 5th one at this point, all the drains in the cockpit never drained the water successfully. I had to take a push broom, push all the water to the drain, take a squeegee, push it in there, or I just had to take a towel and dry it up. So it's not really gonna matter in my opinion. If you guys really want me to show you, this was the original drain. They sat just like this. Let's be honest, water's still gonna sit on the original drain too. So take care of your boat. If there's gonna be water on the inside of the cockpit, dry it up. Don't let it sit there and you won't have any problems. So now for today, our goal is to get this floor painted. We're gonna get all this cleaned up. We're gonna prep the surface for paint, and hopefully by the end of tonight, we will have a fresh coat of paint on the floor. So I'll see you guys with the scrub bucket. Oh, that felt good. Oh. So we got the floor all scrubbed down. It's not honestly the best. I need to get out here and power wash it and do everything, so don't cringe, guys. I promise you this boat's gonna look great when we're done with it. That's the best I can do for the situation I'm in right now. My focus is just covering up this wood and the fiberglass. So what we're gonna do now is we're gonna lightly sand down that epoxy so we can get the surface a little scuffed up so that we can get ready to paint it. So I'm gonna throw this mask on and try and just do a little bit of hand sanding. So I'm sure some of you guys might disagree with me on this one too as well, but we're rocking with the Total Boat white gel coat. We mixed it with hardener. There's a lot of math involved in this stuff, to be honest with you guys, so I hope I got the ratio right. It said 14 to 16 drops per ounce. I have 4 ounces in here, so I met in the middle at 15, so we did 60 drops of the hardener. MEKP, I believe it's like a hardener. Correct me if I'm wrong. So it says to mix it for 2 minutes, and then we're gonna throw it on the floor. Whew, whew, this stuff is strong. I should probably put a mask on for this. Ah, dang, that chemical is strong. But yeah, we're gonna paint the floor with this stuff, so I'll see you guys in the boat. All right, everybody, we are back. This is about a day and a half later on the floor. So to get, oh, I just stepped in a freaking bucket of water. How did I manage to do that? Well, there goes that sock. Anyways, now that I have one soiled foot, this is how the paint job came out. It's not perfect and the white doesn't exactly match. This boat also just needs a good power washing. I haven't been able to get it out of the garage yet to do a full-on power wash, considering there is a dumpster in the driveway. So once that gets removed, we're gonna pull the boat out, grab a power washer, and get this thing spick and span. Obviously, there's going to be some type of carpet or maybe sea deck. I know you guys want me to do sea deck. There's gonna be something on the floor that's going to allow me to transition everything and make everything look better. So although it doesn't look perfect right now, what's important is we have a nice hard covering on the floor and no more exposed wood. So that's what I'm most ecstatic about. So we're gonna pause there on the floor and we're gonna move over to the ignition. I'm trying to find out if this engine runs or not. So to figure that out, we have to replace the ignition, because if you guys don't know, the original owner never gave me keys to this boat. So I picked up a fresh new ignition. We're gonna get this guy wired in right now. I've never done this before, but I can't imagine it being too hard. There are letters on the back that identify which wire is which. So it's very easy to set up. The only issue is on the old ignition right here, the letters are pretty worn away. So I'm gonna do my best to try and identify which wire is which. My goal here is to just see if the key turns and we get power to the engine, because I don't have gas tanks or anything hooked up yet, so we can't actually start it, but we could see if it wants to start. Because part of me is like, this thing's probably locked up or something, who knows? So, all right, let's try and get this thing installed. Alrighty, here we go. Fresh new ignition, all wired up. I think I did it right. I'm gonna say I did it right, but we're gonna find out right now. I gotta plug a battery in and stick the key in there and turn her over. Now I know some of you guys are gonna be like, dude, I would change every single one of those wires out. But for right now, if this works, just to see if we can get the engine started, I'm cool with that for right now, because I wanna start here and then work my way back. I didn't wanna rewire the whole boat and then the engine not even work. So hopefully the wiring job right now is good enough to get this thing turned on. I'm nervous, big moment of truth. This is a mess in itself. I cannot wait to get this whole battery ordeal back together. Power is on to the battery. We can double check by, alrighty, so power is hooked up to the battery. We do have power. New set of keys. This stuff makes me so nervous. I don't know why, but here goes nothing. Well, she's doing nothing. That's depressing. Super anticlimactic. So either A, I did something wrong, or B, doesn't work, or this is incorrect. I followed the diagram, but all right, back to the drawing board. Trim's not working anymore, the jack plate's not working, so either the battery's not making a connection, or I popped a fuse trying to start it, which I'm assuming means I hooked it up wrong. Crud. Positive and negative. Yeah, we blew a fuse somewhere. Definitely blew a fuse. Now I gotta find out where the fuses are at to flip this thing back over, because we have officially no power. All right, I'm not gonna lie to you guys. At this point, I've been playing around with this for, God, I don't know, 3 hours. Taking apart the whole wiring harness. I have the diagram right here. I am at the final wire of redoing everything. I've literally taken everything apart to basically scratch. I'm even putting new connectors on here. I have no idea if this ignition doesn't work. I don't know if this wiring harness works. In my head, I blew a fuse. I would think. I have no idea why nothing's working now. Alrighty guys, so it's actually the next day. I, at this point, have the whole top off the engine. I have literally the entire dashboard ripped apart. I mean, look at this mess. I don't know if you guys can see that, but it is a complete mess. Before I hooked up the new ignition, my trim tabs worked. I had good working trim tabs, the jack plate worked, but since I changed out the ignition, now none of that works. The boat doesn't try to kick or anything. But what's weird is all the pumps still work. So the live wells work, the bilge pump works, And yes, the battery that's in there is a fully charged starter battery. It's a deep cycle. It's a good battery. So battery's definitely not dead. I just put it in there from the charger. And yeah, I don't know what's going on. So the only thing that I can think of is that there's a fuse somewhere in these lines that popped or blew, and I have to reset it or change it out. Looking through the entire harness, all this disaster wiring down here, I have found absolutely no fuses. At this point, I'm gonna bite the bullet and I'm gonna rip the whole wiring harness out of the boat. Oh, what a whole bunch of nonsense. There's so many things that are just making no sense. I'm gonna try and disconnect as much as I can, but odds are, guys, I'm probably just gonna replace the majority. I mean, half of this stuff, it's basically broken. All the wires are ripped anyways, so probably why none of the dash was working to begin with, but what that is. So we have...
So at this point, I decided the easiest thing to do was to try and take every single wiring harness that ran from the engine to the dashboard out of the boat. I figured this way I'd be able to go through each one, know exactly what's going on, and if there were any fuses within the line, I'd be able to find it.
So I'm down here kind of pulling apart the original battery wiring. This stuff all goes to the front of the boat, so not a big deal. It's actually pretty easy to separate, but look at this. Isn't that awesome? This thing is so rusted that I cannot get it off. So we are currently using channel locks to try and get it off because that's what I have here in front of me. But I'm probably gonna go have to get another tool. I mean, this rust has got this thing glued. If you guys have ever worked on cars before, you'll feel my pain. It just goes to show how long this boat sat outside. All right, so we have everything separated for the most part. I'll give you guys kind of an update. Down here we have all the bilge pump and live well pump wiring, so we tucked that aside. This wiring went up to the front of the boat, probably for the trolling motor, etc. That's pushed aside. I believe all our dash wiring and everything is right here. I left that. We have all this wiring going to this fuse box right here. And I believe this is just a channel that allows you to go direct to your battery. Correct me if I'm wrong. This is just my diagnosis right now. I'm not 100%, so I'm assuming all your mains run to that panel. That panel runs to power. Within there you have a fuse. That way stuff stops at the fuse and doesn't just destroy everything. I think that's correct. Again, correct me if I'm wrong. I'm learning here. So what I'm gonna try to do now is just directly hook up the power to the engine and see if I can get just the trim on the engine to work. I did disconnect the shifter and everything. You guys are like, oh my God. But I just need to get trim to the actual engine so I can get the engine moved up and down. That's my biggest concern right now. Then we'll go from there. So I ripped the harness out for the trim motor and have all my trim right here. Blue is up, green is ground, or everybody says green, ground, blue sky, so that's how you know, like up and down. So I have a little gator clip here. I spliced into the blue so that I could override the switch, which was probably unnecessary, but we did it. So anyways, take my gator clip, put it to the positive on the battery. Ow! I just got shocked. I literally just touched my elbow to that wire that I just spliced and shocked myself. Definitely gonna clip those off. So now that I'm thinking, if I just bypass those two, actually no. Would I just go red to power and my switch should work, right? Yep. Woo! So we got our trim switch back, which makes me wonder what the heck happened. I'm guessing within all that wiring in that box, there is something wrong. Something's wrong there because I bypassed that entire wire panel and just went direct to the motor. So now we're gonna go direct to the motor with the ignition and hope that sucker kicks. Otherwise, I don't know.
So then I went back and rewired all the ignition cables. I ended up following diagrams that I found on Google for Johnson Motors because the diagram that came with the ignition was absolutely no help whatsoever.
All right, here we go. Nothing. I have no idea.
All right, so I found another random diagram actually in reviews of a different ignition. I was about to order a new ignition and I found a different layout. So we're gonna try this one out, see if that works. So I just rigged everything up, attach my ground. I'm getting clicking now. So there's clicking coming from the engine. What does that mean? Is it clicking because I have a bad solenoid or something? I don't know, guys. This is as far as I got. All right, so now I'm kind of fiddling back here with the engine to make sure everything's all together. I found this hookup right here. I don't know exactly where the solenoids are and stuff on this engine. I assume that either A, we got a bad starter, bad solenoid, that's not allowing this engine to turn over, but there was a fuse inside of here. This fuse is clearly toast, so we're gonna see if we can find one nearby. Maybe I am hooking the ignition up correctly. We just have some bad fuses and stuff like that. So we're gonna start there, see if we can find one at like Menards or something down the road and go from there. All right, we got ourselves new 20 amp fuses. Gonna try and get one of these suckers in there and cross our fingers that this makes a difference. Can't say that it will because I don't exactly know what that fuse goes to, but what I do know is that fuse is no good, so. All right, well, let's see if that makes a difference. Let's go! No way. I still don't know if this is hooked up right, but the engine is turning. Now, give or take, there's no gas hookup or oil or anything hooked up to it, so I'm not gonna play with it too much, but I mean, that's good, right? That's correct? Well, here we go. I don't wanna mess with it too much, but I think that's right. No freaking way. Sounds like it's all right. Not like that it's all right, but I mean, that's a good thing, I'm pretty sure. I'm not an engine maniac, but $4 fix. Zinger. So the ignition does work. I don't know, I guess we gotta get gas hooked up to it now, huh, to see if it runs? I'm just pumped. Oh my God. Well, I guess we're gonna go ahead and end things here. I need your guys' comments down below to let me know what the heck is going on with this engine. Does it sound good? Did I do everything right? This is my first time diagnosing anything like this whatsoever. So if I have the opportunity to have a professional come look at it and just see what's going on, I will do it, but I'm not gonna pay to get it done. What are your guys' thoughts? I hope you enjoyed this episode. I know a lot of you guys are really curious to see what's going on with the engine. So from here, I guess what I'm gonna do is seafoam it, probably change the lower unit oil, get a gas tank hooked up to it, get oil hooked up to it to see if we can actually get it fired up. Like, this is crazy. This is kind of big. So I'm excited. I don't know. I can't believe I made it this far, to be honest with you guys. I call today a success. But with that being said, if you guys are new here, do me a favor, hit that subscribe button. If you're enjoying the videos, let me know in the comment section down below. Other than that, I will see you guys in the next one.